Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kilee, and this video has been something that I have been wanting to do for over 3 years. My kitchen was incredibly overdue for a huge makeover, and this is it from start to finish. Painting my countertops, putting up new backsplash, and fixing my old peeling cabinet doors. There's a lot to do, so we have to get started. But before we do, a huge shout out to My Front and Center for helping me accomplish these cabinets and being so amazing and generous. If you have cabinets like mine and dream of new doors, stay tuned because this company is definitely the answer you're looking for. If you're new or needed a reminder, here's what we're working with. We've got some ugly, outdated greenish laminate countertops, floor tiles as backsplash, and of course, peeling cabinets, which apparently happens to quite a lot of people. That being said, the first project to tackle is the countertops. I chose to do this first because I figured it would be the messiest part since I decided I was going to paint them. I found this kit on Amazon for painting countertops that quite literally came with everything you need. They had several different styles, but I chose this marble one. You start out by painting a base of white paint. I actually ended up having to do 3 layers of white paint to cover the dark counters. Just to introduce myself if you're new here, my name is Kilee. I'm 31 years old and my middle name is really Rainbow. I make YouTube videos about home decor, holidays, DIYs, and motherhood, and I like to keep it real. I'm a normal mom with a normal house, and sometimes I'm a little bit of a hot mess. I live in North Carolina, I have 3 kids, and I'm married to my husband Tim, who works in the oil field, which means he's hardly ever here. I want to be your new mom friend who will encourage you, give you life hacks to be the mom you want to be, and I promise I will never judge you as long as you don't judge the fact that I sometimes restart the dryer so I don't have to fold the clothes. I would love to have you subscribe. I put up new videos every week here on YouTube, and I also post a ton on TikTok and Instagram. Next comes the veining. Honestly, it seems very stressful at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's not too bad. I'm just a little bit of an overthinker, so I think that was part of my problem because the kit comes with everything that you need: sponges, paintbrushes, a water bottle, paint, all of it. It also pretty much explains what to do from start to finish, but I do recommend watching a few videos, maybe looking at some actual pieces of marble, and using very little water. I found that having my paintbrush be only a little tiny bit damp was the best way to get the diffused look I was going for. I also went as far as to go back over it and sponge on some more white paint because I wanted it to be very subtle veins. There's tons of ways to do a pattern, so just do what you think will look best and try not to overthink it too much. If you've been around for a while, a long while honestly, you might remember that I painted the countertops in my old house too. Twice, actually. At the time, I used a kit to make them look like granite, and it came with a top coat and everything, but it honestly wasn't the best. It ended up chipping pretty quickly, so when I decided to try again, I did a lot of research and realized that this kit that I used this time was super different because of the resin overlay. The resin really makes the huge difference from anything else I could find, and at the time of recording this voiceover, it's been finished for about a month and it's holding up really well, so make sure you do a lot of research if you're looking to paint your countertops and wanting to use a kit. Once the veining was all dry, we taped everything up and I got to work on mixing the resin top coat. This is different than most top coats because it dries hard, like plastic, and it's very thick, so it creates a really good barrier to protect your newly painted countertops. To answer a few questions, no, resin isn't completely heat resistant. It's only heat resistant to about 200 degrees, but that's similar to many other budget-friendly types of countertops. And no, you shouldn't cut directly on it either. Again, similar to many other types of countertops. And once it's fully cured, it is considered to be food safe, but as someone who has tons of experience with food safety, I wouldn't recommend preparing or cutting raw food directly on any countertop unless it's meant for cutting on and it's properly sanitized. Also, that's what cutting boards are for. All that aside, the resin was super easy to put on, it self-leveled just fine, and the hardest part was actually ensuring that there was no random dust or bubbles trapped in it. To be honest, I didn't let anyone in the kitchen for like 48 hours, and I spent a while with my flashlight out just taking stuff out of it. It is tacky for about 8 hours, and then you can lightly use it after 48 hours, and it's fully cured after 7 days. So just take that into consideration if you choose to go this route. I actually was really pleased with how the counters came out. I didn't get too hung up on the pattern, and I really think it's a great budget-friendly option for fixing up your countertops. The kit I used will be linked down below, and if you have any more counter questions, don't hesitate to ask me. Next step of the kitchen process was the backsplash. Truthfully, I wish I could have tiled over my existing backsplash, but I know that's frowned upon, so I did take it all off, and this is where things got a little scary, not gonna lie. In every DIY, there's always something that goes south. HGTV just usually seems to leave that part out, but I do not. Whoever lived here before actually used floor tiles as the backsplash, and it looked rough. And taking them down went fine until I got to where the stove was, and then giant chunks of drywall started to come out, and that was a little bit scary. Not fun times. So maybe you're new, or maybe you've been around for a while and you're wondering what else you can look forward to on my channel. Let me clue you into what's coming up. Spring is here, and so next up on my channel will be tons of spring content. I'll be doing a porch makeover for spring with lots of planting and decorating and everything to get it all fresh and new out there. It needs it. I'll also be filming some indoor spring decor content. And I'll be bringing you guys along while I pack for Disney World for spring break. I've got lots of great spring break tips, travel hacks for flying with kids and traveling with kids, and lots of fun spring decor ideas too. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. Oops. during this, my mom was here and I got the "how hard can it be" gene from her. Thank you to Elise Myers on TikTok for that phrase. Anyway, we happen to think everything is figure outable, so we took down the microwave and the rest of the tile and just took the drywall down too. Then I placed a giant Lowe's order for new drywall and got to work. I didn't show much of this part because I don't consider myself to be super knowledgeable about what to do with drywall and I don't want anyone to copy me, but I watched a bunch of YouTube videos and I think that everything turned out okay. The drywall is still up, so it seems like a win to me. Either way, that part was tough and a little stressful, but we handled it and it's all good to go now. After the drywall was fixed and dry, I sanded everything and started putting up the new backsplash. As always, I will link every product I bought or used in the description below if I can. This backsplash came from Home Depot and I think it was only about $5 a sheet. Not bad, honestly. The hardest part of putting this up was all the little pieces of tile that needed to be cut to fit around things like outlets and little spots that I couldn't fit a whole sheet. I do recommend a wet saw if you have one, but we do not. My husband does have a regular saw though, and some fancy blade that he bought, so it worked out pretty well, and thank God for him, right? The tile had to dry before I could grout it, so in the meantime we started working on the cabinets by taking down the old doors and cleaning out the cabinets completely. We also went ahead and sanded the cabinet frames so we could paint them while the grout was drying. At this point we were trying to do as much as we could as quickly as possible, so we were trying to do everything all at once because we were sick of our kitchen being a hot mess. Grouting was pretty easy. I definitely would recommend getting a pre-mix grout. I got ours from Home Depot and I decided to do white grout with the white tile, which I'm really happy about. And also a little tip, the pre-mix grout from Home Depot was way cheaper than the pre-mix grout from Lowe's. I'm not sure why that is, but just stick that info in your back pocket in case you ever need it. We also decided to stick with white for the cabinets, but they definitely needed a fresh coat of paint, so we painted the molding and the frames and the baseboard and the quarter round while we had the paint out. It definitely helped everything look super fresh and clean again. I swear I need to redo all of the baseboards in my whole house, but it's super tedious, so just the kitchen got it this time. Okay, so let's talk about the cabinets. I've been so embarrassed of my cabinets for so long. The laminate covering that's on many types of cabinets was coming off and chipping and cracking and peeling, and I absolutely hated it. The problem I was having though was I didn't know if I wanted to just fix the doors and repaint them or get all new cabinets. Just fixing the doors seemed like a lot of work to just have the same outdated style of door. And getting new cabinets seemed super expensive and intense. I wasn't sure what to do until one day I came across this company called My Front & Center. My Front & Center makes custom sized doors for any cabinet. The process is so simple, and they were incredibly helpful when it came to questions I had and helping me with my order. They also shipped everything straight to my house with new hinges, and we had them up so quickly. The doors were by far the simplest part of this entire DIY, and I cannot recommend My Front & Center enough. I'll be sure to link their website down below. New doors cost only a fraction of what all new cabinets would have cost, so I think the results are amazing, and it's definitely a better budget-friendly option if you're in a situation like I was. Once we finished with one side of the kitchen, we went and did the same thing on the other side. We took down the old backsplash, sanded, put up new backsplash, put on the new cabinet doors, and then I grouted the backsplash. This side was all done in like less than 24 hours, which was a nice change from the several weeks the other side took me, but I had to figure everything out on that side, so I forgive myself. Y'all, sometimes I even surprise myself with the things I figure out how to do in my house when I'm DIYing something, but I've always been the type of person that believes I can figure something out, and thanks to YouTube, I can always find a tutorial if I don't know how. I'm not sure why I'm like this, probably thanks to my parents. My mom was always redoing things in her house by herself when I was growing up, and then my dad also did a lot of things around the house, either by himself or with some of his friends. So people always say they would never have the courage to do all these things, but I promise you that if I can do it, so can you. Everything, and before I show you the end result, I want to give you a look back at where we started. So this is my kitchen before. And here is what it looks like after. Honestly, I'm so happy with it. I love the all white. I feel like it brightens up the space so much and it makes it feel a lot bigger and cleaner. I'm so happy to finally have a kitchen I'm not embarrassed of, and I'm so proud of the fact that we did this all by ourselves. I want to thank y'all so much for watching, and I hope that if you're new, you will subscribe so you don't miss out on anything. And we've got a lot more where this came from. Please don't forget to check out my front and center if you're in the market for new cabinet fronts. And by the way, if no one's told you today, you're doing a really great job. I'll talk to y'all next time.